The story of the Chinese bamboo tree. There was once a man that felt discouraged. He took stock of the resolutions he made the past year. He felt as if nothing in his life had changed. He felt as though he was the same person, with the same problems. He began to lose hope. He went to speak to his mentor. His mentor asked, "Do you know how long it takes for a giant bamboo to grow as tall as a building? During the first year, the tiny plant is watered and fertilized, and nothing happens. It is watered and fertilized for another full year, and another, and another, and still nothing happens. Then on the 5th year, it shoots up to the sky. In 6 weeks, the bamboo grows 90 feet. So tell me, how long does it take a bamboo tree to grow so high?" 6 weeks, the man replied. "That's your mistake," said the mentor. "It takes 5 years. If the farmer stopped watering the plant at any point during those 5 years, it would have died. What was happening during those years is underneath the ground, an enormous network of roots were developing to support the bamboo's sudden growth. Growth takes patience and persistence. Every drop of water makes a difference. Every step you take makes an impact. You may not see the change right now, but growth is happening. Now ask yourself, what are you willing to do to make your dreams come true? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? How much faith and belief are you going to have in your vision and in your dreams? Are you willing to push past the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs? Are you willing to take action in your life? Decide now. Grow your roots. The power is yours. Yours alone. Act as if your life depends on it. Why? Because it does.
Woo! I so love that video.
Yeah, it was the first time you ever saw it.
Hey y'all. Yeah, it is.
I made that video probably 4 years ago. And I was when you got on tonight, that's what I was looking for, because I was like, you know, it's fascinating that your dream, you know how they say your dreams or your gifts will make room for you.
Yeah.
And that video was something that I thought about earlier today, and I never got around to looking at it, because, you know, sometimes we're like, you know, we're too occupied being comfortable in our thoughts that don't serve us, instead of thinking about the things that we do know serve us and utilizing it to our best ability. So I never looked at it. So apologies while we're a little late, because I was downloading that partly. But I made that video when me and Sadai and Raymond Wright were doing our master classes back in the day. And I made it for the people that were coming to the master class. And I'm like, yeah, I think I made that for me. And I made that for me today, February 6th, 2024, because it's something that is timeless. Because we know what we need. We know what we need. And most of the things what we need are the gifts that we give. So, yeah, I love it too. I love it too. It's good to see your face today, Dr. Sue. How you doing today?
It's good to be seen, and I am phenomenal. I am
Good,
phenomenal.
good,
And
good. I am too. It is a beautiful day. We are beautiful beings, and it's as you come into the room, you other beautiful beings. Let
yeah,
us know that you're here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Sometimes we don't know. As you see, I am in my lovely bed again this week.
again,
Yeah, I figure, why not?
this light is messing
Like
with
they
me.
say in church, come as you are, right?
Yeah,
Oh man. So anything that if anyone has any topics or anything that you want to share with us as we talk tonight, we would definitely like your input as well. And this is the late night Friday night happy hour with Carrie Irene and Dr. Sue. And whatever comes up,
comes out, y'all. Comes out.
that's right. And Dr. Sue be telling her business. Okay.
I'm gonna tell my business tonight, y'all. I am definitely gonna tell my business tonight. I'm just saying.
You definitely gonna tell it all.
And I'm gonna tell my sons too. I'm gonna
Look,
tell.
if I gotta tell it, then I gotta tell it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell the business, tell the business. So, anything coming up for you, Dr. Sue, tonight?
Yeah, I want to address my son's transition.
Mhm.
Um, Not from a sad point, but I just want to share. I want to share about the gift that his transition is giving to me in so many ways. And some of you who listen to this may be aware that my son passed quite unexpectedly early Tuesday, this past Tuesday morning, sometime between 12:30 a.m. and 1 a.m. And it was he had some significant health issues, but he was not bedridden or anything like that. And it was just an absolute shock to me. I am grateful. The emergency personnel who came to assist him did absolutely everything they could. And I'm so grateful that they were extremely professional and compassionate, and they tried. They tried.
Mhm.
But we're spiritual. This is a spiritual based
Mhm.
live stream, and our conversations are always grounded in spirituality. It was my son's time. My son came here for a specific purpose. That purpose was complete. His physical body was ready to take a rest.
Yeah.
My son is still with me and with all of us because we're all energy, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just
Absolutely.
is. And so, what I want to talk about is that I want to talk about the gift part, because my son, and I keep saying my son because he was my only child. It's like ride or die, y'all, ride or die.
Ride or die.
uh, I was married to his father, but his father was not a real participant in his life, and so I raised him by myself. And his father would kind of drop in and out from time to time, but it was me and my son and my son and me. And I always thought, it's just the two of us and God, but it's just the two of us, right? My son went into the military, and he was in a combat zone multiple times. He came out with PTSD and a lot of other things related to his body, just the physical tearing down of his body. Sad
Mhm.
mind, but physical stressed traumatically. But he he was doing so well. He When I left Atlanta, I felt like God was calling me here to come back to Gainesville, Florida. Listen, I've been away from here for 50 years. It was not a place that I was planning to come back to, but I just kept having this sense that go back home, go back home. And I would tell my friends in Atlanta, I just feel like I'm being called to go back home. I don't know why. And some of them would say, there's some healing that's going to take place. I go, oh, okay, all right, I'm going. Okay, God, I don't know why you call him, and just like the, okay, God, I don't know why you call him it, but I am going to be obedient. I am coming back home. And I said to my son, who was in Tallahassee, where he was born, and then he went into the military, but he went back there. I asked him, I said, I'm moving back to Gainesville. You want to come live with me? Just like that. You want to come live with me? And he said, yeah. I said, you do? He said, yeah. I go, really? You mean I was so shocked that he wanted to come, right? He said, yeah. Mom, how many times do I have to tip? Okay, all right. I was so happy. I didn't know what it was going to be like because I hadn't lived with him since he was 20 years old. No, since he came out of high school, he was 18. Hadn't lived with him since then. He's been married twice, divorced twice. Well, the first one was annulled and then divorced. I'm married twice, divorced twice. It's like we have had our own separate worlds.
Yeah.
Didn't really know each other as we got to know each other in this last 6 months. And when I invited him or asked him if he wanted to come, I told him, I said, listen, I am your mother and I will always be your mother, but this is an adult living arrangement. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I do have one rule: cleanliness. I'm all about cleanliness. Got to do that. But aside from that, you can just, it's like you have your own place. I have my own place. I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you want to have female company over, you need private time, I'm good with that. Just let me know and I can be out of here, right?
Right.
And if I need to spend the night in a hotel, I'm good with that, because this is your home and you should be able to have guests here if you want to. I'm not telling you that you have to go somewhere. No, I'm not doing that. So I don't think that he thought that I really meant what I was saying.
Right.
So like the first month that he was here, we're feeling each other out, and I could tell his energy was a little, but then by the third week he was here, I could tell his energy was just kind of getting mellowed out. And then by the end of that first month, he was just in his zone. He'd get up early in the morning. We don't have a porch. We have a carport, but I call it the porch. So he'd get up in the morning and go to his little seating area out on the porch. He's talking to the neighbors who are out walking their dogs. The blackbirds come. He's feeding them. I'm going, Brian, we're going to have ants all over this yard. Ma, can you please call me mom or mother? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, ma. Okay. So he would sit out there and listen to the birds and feed the blackbirds and watch the squirrels and watch the wind blow in the trees and talk to the neighbors. He had such a traumatic experience with the military and everything. One of his best friends had committed suicide. One of them had been killed by some random person, and all of that was my son, very, very much an empath, very empathetic, and subject to compassion fatigue, he was a social worker, but after a very short while, he wasn't able to work in that profession because he felt too much. He didn't know how to protect himself from everything that he was feeling. So his death was quite unexpected. Last Thursday, we were sitting out on the porch, and I said to him, I said, are you happy? I'm always asking questions. How you feeling? You happy? You glad you came? You think you're going to make any friends here? And I asked about the friends. He go, but when I asked him if he was happy, he said, yeah, I'm real happy. I said, are you glad you came? Yeah, I'm real glad. And he said he had been, and this is just an aside, it kills me that we send our young men and women off to war to fight in other countries, to fight for our freedom, they say, but in other countries. And then they come back here and they have to fight for the benefits that they deserve, So he had been fighting since 2016 to get benefits through Social Security, supplemental Social Security, the SSI, supplemental Social Security. And he said last week that after all those years, I finally won. And he says, I was so excited. I'm so happy. I'm crying. And I was just, and so we just sat there and just, he was, my son, even though he's a big man, but he was a mama's boy. He said, Mom, I'm going to take care of you and I'm going to fix up grandma's house. And I said, I don't care about that. I'm a son's mama. And I said, I just want you to be taken care of. So we're just having that kind of conversation. And that was on Thursday. I bought I bought a big screen TV because I thought, well, he would spend all his time back, and he called it his coven. So he spent all his time back there, either back there or out on the porch. And I said, I remember the day I asked him to go and buy it. I was so excited because I thought, in my little devious mind, if I get the TV, it'll be out in the living room area, and then he'll be forced to come.
Right.
He'll be forced to come out of the COVID and watch TV up here. All about me. It had nothing to do with him. All about what I wanted, right? And so we got it. We got it up on the wall. Nice big 52-inch screen. You think my son came out?
He didn't do it.
He did not do it. He did not do it. He did not do it. He would stop by en route from his coven to the outside on the porch. He would stop sometimes, go, you watching? Oh yeah, that right there. That yeah. Good. But he didn't come out. But listen, here's the gift. Here's one of the gifts. On Sunday, I asked, the Wednesday before, I said, I was telling my friend about you, the same story. And she said, well, did you ever ask him to come out and sit? Maybe y'all could have like a family day. I said, nope, never thought about it. I just thought when I had it that he was going to. So I asked him and he said, yeah, we can do that. And we were going to do it on Wednesday, but he died on Tuesday. But here is the gift. On Sunday, he watched the first half of the Super Bowl. And that's a gift to me because that is a memory that I will take with me. And then when he transitioned, I knew that he stopped breathing. My angel came to me and said he was dead before he knew he was dead. So he had some discomfort and stress because he was having breathing problems, but he didn't feel pain. It was gone like that. That's a gift. That's another gift because he could have been struggling and in so much pain. The rescue people came. It took them less than 5 minutes, maybe not more than 5 minutes to get here. He was talking when they got here. But within a couple of minutes of them being here, he was gone. Now, it's a gift to me because my son had significant medical problems. He was 39 years old. And in my opinion, he had the body of like an 80-year-old man in terms of all of the disability, all of the pain. He was in constant pain all day, every day.
Right.
So he smoked the medical marijuana, because he said that was the only thing that eased the pain. The gift in his death is that my son is no longer in pain. You're not in pain. The gift in the fact that he went quickly is that he did not suffer. My son was a genius. Literally, my son was a genius. And he was quick of wit and petty to the nth. But not petty from a vicious way, petty in terms of, see the humor in this. It's like, pardon me, but the shit people do. Can you just see how petty that is? I mean, really? So I can't even imagine what our lives would have been like if it had been prolonged. If they worked on him for a very long time, what would his life have been like if they had revived him after the length of time that they worked on him? What would have been the quality of life? The gift is that my son went out with the same capability mentally that he came in with. I'm grateful for that. My son had a wicked sense of humor. Sometimes it's like, He's got a private group. I'm telling this business after he ain't here, so he can't. Well, he's here, but he's not physically here. I'm just saying,
I can
you
hear
know,
them, Mom.
yeah, business out. So he has a Facebook group, and it's called the Petty Group, and it's where people come on and they just write and they put in videos and comments that about, pardon me, petty shit.
Just petty.
I was,
Sometimes you need somewhere to go to be petty.
yeah, I was, and they called him King Petty.
King petty.
This morning I woke up and I was feeling a little some kind of way. And this was the first time that I went into his Facebook, into that group. I laughed so hard. I laughed. I encouraged him to keep, as did his brother, keep the group going. Keep the group going. Because it laughter, or laughter, as we say, is good for the soul. I was laughing so hard I couldn't be sad. When I first started, I was about to cry. I was laughing so hard the tears that were coming down my eyes had nothing to do with my. It was like this. It is amazing. It's so funny. It's a private group, y'all. I don't know. They invited me to come in, so. And then he has another Facebook group. I don't think it's private. It has just under 800 people in it. In that group, I was in awe. Another gift that's still giving. I was in awe of the things that they wrote about the impact that my son had on their lives, about the fact that he was a human diary. I could tell him anything and he would not judge me. I could call him any time of the day or the night. And this wasn't just a few people. It's like everybody. I said it's like almost 800 people, just 700, almost 800 people. Everybody is saying the same kind of thing. It's like, wow, I thought my son didn't have any friends. I asked him,
You worried about making friends. Just like a mama.
I was gonna take him to Mexico. I was gonna make him some friends.
Ready-made friends.
I love my baby. Yes, I was gonna make him some friends because I wanted him to have some friends. So all of these people, and they have been reaching out. And just before I got on here, I was on a call for about an hour with a young man who is now in Vermont, but who grew up with my son and has known him since he was in middle school. And he talked about the impact that Brian had on his life, and on the impact that Brian had on his wife's life. And you see, I'm not sad. I know some people may say, I can't believe she's out there. Yeah, I'm out here because I am telling you that there's a gift, depending on your perspective. How do you view this transition? Is it the end, or is it a new beginning? My son and I, we are having a new kind of relationship. It is the ultimate relationship because he is now fully spirit. I'm still here. I'm spirit, but I'm still in human form. But my son has been talking to me since I've been here. My mother came to me. My mother passed in 1984. My son was her favorite grandchild. She passed. My son was 4 years old. And she came, and with her was my grandmother, my sister, all of my brothers. My mom and dad had 10 children. All of my siblings that have passed. So that's 6 of them. His favorite nephew, his favorite cousin, several other cousins. And my mom said, I want you to know we were all here. He did not cross over alone. That's a gift, baby. I don't care how you look at that. That's a gift.
You got that.
That is a gift. And I have been looking at this cabinet that I have all of this time for the last 5 months. I just saw the coloration, which I love. I never saw the angels. not last night, but the night before, I was looking and I saw the figures of the angels, full, tall. I mean, we're talking about 4 inches, 4 feet tall. It's like, wow. And I'm looking. It's like, why did I never see that before? Why did I never see that before? And then I heard, it's like, and then I thought, well, why am I just seeing that? And then I heard something about why, because I was wanting to know, why am I seeing it now? That's why am I seeing it now? So that you can see what is in front of you that you haven't been seeing.
Yeah.
That's the gift. That is the gift. I know that we know that we are dying from the moment we're born. We resist that. We have we're programmed to walk away from that, and in doing so, we oftentimes take on this unspoken but subconscious belief that we're going to live forever, even though we know we're not. And then when death happens, we are angry. We're angry because, God, why did you do that? I understand that. And I want you to know that the me that you're seeing now, in terms of how I am showing up as a result of my son's death, that wasn't always me. When my mom died in 1984, I thought I would die. I wanted to die. The only thing that kept me alive was my son, another gift, right? The thing that's keeping me, one of the things that keeps me from even thinking about suicide is my son would be so disappointed. He would be so hurt because he was so anti-suicide and so pro-life.
Yeah.
And then just in terms of being transparent, I am human. And when they first brought my son out, I looked and I just went there. No, 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 God, no, 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 no. Why? Not why did you take him, but why is this happening? See, it's all about me. It is always all about, it's never about the other person. It's not about the person who deceased. It's about, in my mind, my son was going to outlive me. The 6 months that we've been together, I was adamant, Carrie, you know, I was adamant about getting my will in place, I got to change all that stuff now. I got to change it all. It never occurred to me that I needed to think that, what if he didn't outlive me?
Yeah.
And so oftentimes that's what happens with parents and friends and siblings. We don't think that that person, it's like, you're not supposed to die. Meaning the meaning behind the implication behind that is, even though I may not have been conscious of it, in my mind, I had a plan. God, you destroyed the plan. You disrupted what I had in mind. But y'all know what they say about planning, right? Go ahead. And then God's going to do his thing, right? And so God said to me, when I was saying, I wanted to know the why, and God was showing me, here's the gift. God was showing me, he showed me how I responded to death when my mom died. I remember going into the church. That's all I remember. They picked me up off the floor. I don't remember anything else. I remember them bringing me out of the church and getting in the car, going to the cemetery. We're standing up as we're marching into, you know, how they have the chairs. We're marching there. They're saying, they picked me up off the floor. I don't remember. I have no memory of anything that happened at my mom's funeral. I have no memory of it. And I literally wanted to die. I was incapacitated for almost a year. I was working at the police department as their legal advisor. I'm grateful. I had a wonderful boss who said to me, you just come in. You don't have to do anything. You got to keep moving. And so there were so many days that the only thing I could do for like the first 4 or 5 months was just to get up, get dressed, go to my office, close the door. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't answer the phone. I was just there. I was just there. But God was good in terms of I had the support of the chief of police, and I had the support of the deputy chiefs, and they supported me as I moved through that. So that God was showing me. And honestly, I had this experience. It's like my spirit body was outside of this human body and showing me that that's where you were, but this is where you are. Because the yesterday and the day before, I found myself, all I could say was over and over and over. I was like a broken record. I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful. And I'm still grateful. And I would leave you with this. There's a gift in everything, even in death. It really has to do, whether you see it as a gift or not, depends on your perspective. But your perspective depends to a great extent on your programming. And your programming depends on what are your beliefs, your values, which depends on where who programmed you. Because oftentimes as we show up in these having these experiences, we are reacting the way the people around us have reacted all of our lives. You know, you think about, and I'm not slamming anything, but I've gone to funerals where everybody, I mean, you just knew everybody was going to fall out. Well, we knew before going to the funeral that everybody was going to fall out. And then I've gone to the funerals where it has been more of a celebration of life, and the dead were accorded the respect, but a person might cry, a sniffle over there, and you might hear one or two, but you didn't hear, oh, and it wasn't like the whole church falling out. What's the programming? What is the program? How how are you trained to believe that you are supposed to react in a situation where there is death? I have, through my own personal development, solely through the wisdom and God's work, I've moved from where I was when my mom died in 1988 to where I am now, that all I can see, all I can see is the gift. Now, does that mean that I don't get sad? Yeah, but I'm not angry. I get sad. It doesn't last. It's fleeting. I'll get sad and then I'll remember something silly that my son said or something silly that he did, or I'll find something that shows me his own spiritual growth. And it's like, wow, I didn't know that. Like I was looking in an old book that he had, exercise book, and he had told me about the book that he used. It's a book on how to use your own body weight to work out, right? I opened the book and two things were in there, two gifts. One is that there were 5 cards in there. Each of them had it had the word Psalm and a number on it. My son had scriptures in there. Those were his scriptures that he went to all the time. The other was that there was this old piece of paper in there, sheet of notebook paper. No, not notebook paper, drawing paper, that his daughter, she was a little kid, because you could tell it's a little kid scrawling, but she had wrote our family, and she had drawn a picture of him. He's not her biological dad, but he raised her and her brother from the time they were 1 and 2 years old. So she had drawn a picture of her dad, her mom, herself, and her brother. And she said, our family.
Oh,
He kept that. It's so old that it's worn around the edges, that it's how he had it folded. It's beginning to break in the line. That's a keepsake. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that, right? Because that was so important to him. It is a gift. It is all in how you choose to view it. All in how you choose to view it. I personally, I don't believe that death ends life. I believe that when you transition from this body, you're going into another way of being, right? And so I look at the cycle of life as being from birth to birth, birth to birth, never ending, never ending.
yeah.
That's what's on my mind today, and that's what's coming up for me. And what I want to share with you all is I'm good. Please, you be good too.
There's a beautiful compassion to death. You know, grief requires compassion. Grief requires grace. Um, and it's actually a beautiful process. I mean, it's a process that none of us are exempt from. So to embrace it is masterful. Let me unplug this.
You're hearing feedback? I don't hear any at all.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of feedback. It's all good. I just, I learned that because I think the most difficult death that I processed was my grandfather, because it was the first significant death in my life, and that was when my senior year in high school in 1997. But when my father transitioned, it was different. It was a lot different. Yes. I remember the last time I saw him, that I knew it was gonna be the last time I would see him alive. I went and got, you can't see it on here. Well, you can't. I went and got this tattoo that night.
Yeah, I've never had one before, but I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, I want to go with you.
Okay.
You want one too. We can all have our tattoo party. But I went to get this tattoo, but I remember the night morning that he passed away. I had been out drinking. I didn't get home like 3:00 in the morning that morning. Then I walked into my apartment, and it was literally this wind came gushing out of my apartment, and all I could smell was his perfume. And I'm like, that is so, I'm tipsy. I'm like, that is so weird. It smells just like my dad in here. This is weird. I go on in and whatever. And then the next morning, my sister called me, and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm thinking, well, I'm fine. Are you? What's wrong? But she thought my mom had already called me. My mom hadn't called me yet. So, but it was just like, of course, it's the shock of the news. It's the finality of it all. And so I called my best friend, and I was like, I told her, she's like, "You get to me and I'll get you home." Because she lived about an hour away, closer, because she would have came here, we had to go straight back to where she was. But she's like, "You get to me and I'll get you home." So, that's what happened. And once we got home, it was just like, it was truly a homegoing. It was a homegoing celebration. We sat around all day and told stories. We ate his face. Mm-hmm. And we were taking, and this, it tickled me. It tickles me to this day. But we had to, it's like those things that you don't think of. We had to figure out what he's gonna be buried in. We had to pick him out an outfit. So my mom, decided what outfit to pick out, and this, and that, and the other. And we get to the funeral home, and we get to the funeral home, and we give him the outfit, and they come back out with his shoes. And that's like, no disrespect, but he ain't gonna need them. I don't know why that thing tickled me.
He walking nowhere. No, he's not walking anywhere. Oh Lord.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But it's like those little moments right there, just like, because he was such a funny person anyway. So it was just so fitting. And the other thing was, before we left, to even bring the thing, him being a pastor, there's just this cliche about pastors that they eat a lot, right? So like, so many times we would do 2 sermons a Sunday, because we have regular church, and then he had to go guest speak somewhere, or do a wedding, or do a funeral, or do whatever. So we would be buffet people. So we would go to the buffet, and he always was like just taking a little piece of chicken and put it in his pocket. He takes it to so when my mom picked out the suit, she came in the room, and you can tell the look. Like, how everybody has certain looks, and certain looks you just know exactly what they mean. She came out, she was just like, we was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And she was like, put your hand in the pocket. So 2 peanut butter cookies. And my dad, for the last bit of his life, he was bedridden. He was bedridden for, like 5-6 months. And even before that, he really wasn't, right before he had his last surgery, he wasn't really going to church like that. So those cookies had to be in his pocket.
Oh, wow.
And I'm talking about they was hard as a rock. Oh my God. I said, I gotta get a picture of this. And I took a picture and I saved it and said, anytime I just need a laugh, I just flip to that picture and look at them cookies. I'm trying to tell you, that thing tickled me. But it's just life should be celebrated before it happens, while we're living it, and after it changes form. It's such a gift to us because those memories and those times and those experience that we have through life, they truly live forever. And never underestimate, just like you're talking about with your son, you're gonna make him some friends. Never and I bet you
Listen, my baby,
he's a capital, honey.
I want him to have some friends.
But you know what? He probably couldn't even tally mark the amount of impact and amount of people that he impacted and on their lives. Because when my dad passed away, I mean, the cars were like down the road, so I can only imagine the heartstrings that were pulled because of due to his transition. But not that was just the catalyst. The real reason was the fact that he existed at all. The fact that he just was who he was. Not anything that he did, but who he was. And that's
Here's something funny. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at my title there. Spell revision. Y'all, I want y'all to know I can't spell, but I didn't. Did I
let's try to pronounce it.
Revision. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just saying.
Revision.
Revisit son.
Revisit son. Yeah.
Oops. That was an oopsie.
That's hilarious. You said how you spell.
I have had a really good day. One of my friends came this morning. He's got a great sense of humor. We laughed. He knew Brian, so we talked about it. We got sad. We talked about his wife who was deceased, and I had a visitation from his wife that I shared with him, so that was really good. My neighbor across the street came, and he was going. Somebody's having a funeral tomorrow, and he was going to take some stuff to them. And I said, "Oh, can I ride with you?" Yeah, Miss Sue. So I went out for a ride. I was gone for about an hour. In terms of grieving, every person grieves the way they grieve. And I have had so many people offer to come and be with me. And I am absolutely grateful that people love me enough to want to come. But I knew, and you have to go with what you know for yourself. I knew I needed this private time. If I had someone here, even though they were here to support me, I'd be worried about, first of all, I'd have to clean the house because it's a hot mess. Which means, the kitchen is clean, but the bathroom, I'd have to do the bathroom. I'm anal. I would have to clean everything, right? And I washed my clothes, but I folded them, but I didn't put them up. So I'd have to do all of that. It's like, no, I don't have the capacity to do that. Yeah. And intuitively, I just knew I needed this time alone. I needed this time just to, if I wanted to jump, I didn't jump. If I wanted to kick, I didn't kick. If I wanted to scream, I did scream. And I felt the scream that came up from my gut.
Yeah.
And I just screamed and screamed and screamed. I screamed so much on Tuesday afternoon, evening, and Wednesday, my throat was literally sore. Here's the thing, though. On Thursday morning, Brian's other mother, his godmother, called and she prayed with me, and that brought me to tears. But it wasn't with the same heaviness and the same energy. And when I screamed on Wednesday, there was a breakthrough. I felt it in my heart. It was like the energy broke up and left my body. And so Wednesday afternoon, I started to feel lighter. And although on Thursday morning I cried, Thursday afternoon, I've been like this. I have moments where I will cry, but it'll last for like that. And then I find something funny, or I look around and see, I smell the smell. And now I'm not, before I was just not wanting to smell because it was just bringing all of that energy. But now it's like, I see you. I smell you. I'm like, oh, this is his stuff. This is the way he kept his stuff. He didn't change. He was a little boy. He was a messy boy. He was the way he was supposed to be in the military, because you know you got to be tight.
Yeah.
But then when he came home, he was a messy man. So
He did what he had to do when he had to do it.
yeah. So I'm just, I'm in awe at the growth that I have experienced. And I know it is because of the personal work that we've been doing. And I also know that it is because of the conversations that we have. Like tonight, even though we have fun when we do these lives, for me, they're always deeply healing. Even when, after my son passed and I was feeling the way I was feeling, I knew that I still wanted to be here tonight. I knew that I still wanted to be here because this is uplifting for me. This feeds my soul. And I don't care what we talk about, it feeds my soul. So I'm here, y'all.
Because whatever comes up,
Comes out.
Yeah, somebody said those screens are always healing. Yep. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's been very beneficial to me as well. I get on here to, whenever you were talking about that screen, the first thing that came to my mind, and I don't even know where this is going, but the first thing that came to my mind was it was an echo. It was an echo of what was going on from the inside. Sometimes we have unresolved things to say. We have unresolved emotions to discard. We have unresolved thoughts to play out. And sometimes they just come through as inaudible things,
Mm-hmm.
like, as they should. Because there's not any word that you can put to certain feelings. And sometimes you just gotta scream. And it is so therapeutic. Me and my friend, I call her Shanty. Her name's Kimmy Ann, but I call her Shanty because I told her she's short and what did I call her? Short and cutie or so. I forget. I put like 3 different names again. I don't even remember what it was. But anytime she's going through something, or anytime I'm going through something, it's almost like it's a safe word for us. We'll literally just either send each other a message or we'll tag each other on Facebook. Where is the field? And we know what that means. Because sometimes you just want to go stand in the middle of a field and scream to the top of your lungs. But nobody asks you why you're screaming, because sometimes
Exactly.
you can't explain. It's just like, I just need to get it out. I just need to create some type of vibration. No one has to receive it. I don't need to make a sound. I just need to get this out.
Yeah.
So it is.
It's a very primal. It's very primal. And I felt, I'm so aware of how my energy flows. I felt it coming up from my gut. And then it kind of got stuck right here. And then there was something that happened and it broke through and it just came out.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, I just screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed until I was tired and cried, boohoo, cried. It was like, what is it that you call? It's like, it's not weep. Different words for crying. It's not weeping.
Hello.
I can't think.
Hello.
Yeah. Just and then it just broke. And after that, it just energetically I began to feel lighter.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that urge like that anymore. And I haven't had that tightness or that the tightness or the weight of any of the energy. Now I haven't been able to eat, but I did tonight. Tonight I ate a half a grilled cheese sandwich and a bowl of soup.
Good. Yay.
I had some tomato soup. So
tomato soup? Nice. That's one of
But
my favorite all-time meals is grilled cheese and tomato soup. Truly,
yeah,
I could eat it all year round. Yeah, that's good
and
stuff.
even with that, it's like everybody kept saying to me, eat, eat, eat. Now I was drinking, I was keeping hydrated, but my stomach was in such a knot from all that energy. The thought of putting something in it every time, the first day, the thought of putting something in it just made me want to regurgitate. And then, like later, it was like it would tighten up like that. It's like I said to myself, I'm not going to force anything there that it is not ready to receive.
Yeah.
And so today, last night, I ate a half a sandwich, the half of the grilled cheese sandwich. And so tonight I eat the other half. But I've been drinking. You can go forever, not forever, but you can go a long time without food. I'm about 40 pounds overweight, so I can, my body can do.
So that was like that scream. That laugh was like that scream. It was like it just tickled me. I can do it.
So yeah, just I heard I don't know who I was listening to today, but he was talking about the spiritual journey. I thought it was Michael Murdad out of Sedona, and he was saying that all of us are on a spiritual journey, all of us. And there's some of us who say, "Oh, I'm spiritual. I'm on a spiritual journey." Like
They're privileged.
Yeah, but all of us, we're just different stages, different phases, unique to us. And so as I talk about the gifts that I've received in my son's passing, and I'm choosing to look at his passing as a gift that continues to give over and over and over, because every time I talk to somebody and they tell me about the impact that he has had on them or the impact that he has had on their children, then it is affirming to me, and selfishly so, it is, you did good, Sue. I was a single parent. I was almost homeless. I was on, I mean, it was hard. And so I did good. And I'm so grateful that God allowed me to have the experience of being my son's mother, and for him to have the experience of being my son, and then for us to come together as adults, and even beyond adults, as spirit to spirit. That's where we were at this point. That's my gift, and I'm going to cherish it. I am not going to remember what I saw, or even when he was calling out and the pain that he was in, or the discomfort. I'm not remembering that. I am intentionally, and you can do this, I am intentionally reprogramming my mind to focus only on the gifts, the positive thing. And what I'm already noticing is that image and the energy related to that last way I saw him before they started working on him, it's beginning to dissipate. It's beginning to dissipate. So,
You know what I absolutely love is that even though you gave him an option to hang out with you Wednesday and he said yes, he chose to hang out with you Sunday
yes, he did.
without
He did.
That's
I was like a little kid in a candy store, and I said, "Oh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited!" I said, Which team are you rooting for?" "Neither." Which one do you like? Which one? I don't care nothing about either one of them. I'm just here because I want to be with you. I go, "Okay." He said, "I just want to see you enjoy yourself." Okay, yeah.
You sound about like me. I said I wanted both teams to lose.
So I had a good time, and it just did, that's a gift. It just did my soul good that he was there. It wasn't where he wanted to be. He didn't care a thing about them.
Right.
He loved me so much. He wanted me to be happy. I'm thinking about my son wanted me to be happy. That was his gift to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. I don't have any anger. I'm grateful for so many things. So it's about perspective.
Yes,
Perspective.
it is. Everything. Life is just a whole bunch of perspectives. That's all life is. And you can change yours at any time. And know that you have the power to do that at any time. You don't have to explain it to anybody. You don't have to have anybody justify it or validate it. If you want to see something different and look at it in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my last word, Dr. Sue. That sounds like a nice little natural wrap up for me.
My last word is this. Life is short. It's very short. We think that we have forever. We really don't. The things that we worry about, they're not important. When my son was on that floor, he just wanted to breathe. He didn't give a damn about whether he had a car. He didn't care whether he had money. He didn't care about any of the material trappings. He wanted to breathe. My takeaway from his death, my real takeaway is, why are you afraid of anything? And I'm speaking to me, but I'm also speaking to you. Because in the end, none of that shit matters. Live your life. You only got one, and you don't know when it's going to be taken. My son, he was talking to them. He was breathing 1 minute. He was gone. Gone. That has had such a major impact on my psyche. He was gone. So I'm focusing on the gift. And the ultimate gift he gave me is one of, it really don't matter what other people think, what they do. None of that matters. Live your life, because you only got one, and you don't know when source is going to call you home. Make the best of it. My final words.
Ashe. So I'm going to play this video one more time, just in case the people came in late. If you weren't here in the beginning, listen to this video. Sit in the video. Don't turn the computer off before it stops. And really understand that don't rush your process. Your process may not take as long as a bamboo tree takes to grow, but it takes as long as it takes. But make sure that you are choosing the way you're looking at your life, and look at it with gratitude. Look at it through the eyes of power. Look at it through the eyes of enlightenment, because it's such a beautiful journey, and it is such a beautiful process, and y'all should embrace it. So I love you guys. I'll be back next week now for another episode of Late Night Happy Hour with Carrie Irene and Dr. Sue, where what comes up
comes out.
Comes out. Bye, y'all.
The story of the Chinese bamboo tree. There was once a man that felt discouraged. He took stock of the resolutions he made the past year. He felt as if nothing in his life had changed. He felt as though he was the same person, with the same problems. He began to lose hope. He went to speak to his mentor. His mentor asked, "Do you know how long it takes for a giant bamboo to grow as tall as a building? During the first year, the tiny plant is watered and fertilized, and nothing happens. It is watered and fertilized for another full year, and another, and another, and still nothing happens. Then on the 5th year, it shoots up to the sky. In 6 weeks, the bamboo grows 90 feet. So tell me, how long does it take a bamboo tree to grow so high?" 6 weeks, the man replied. "That's your mistake," said the mentor. "It takes 5 years. If the farmer stopped watering the plant at any point during those 5 years, it would have died." What was happening during those years is underneath the ground, an enormous network of roots were developing to support the bamboo's sudden growth. Growth takes patience and persistence. Every drop of water makes a difference. Every step you take makes an impact. You may not see the change right now, but growth is happening. Now ask yourself, what are you willing to do to make your dreams come true? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? How much faith and belief are you going to have in your vision and in your dreams? Are you willing to push past the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs? Are you willing to take action in your life? Decide now. Grow your roots. The power is yours. Yours alone. Act as if your life depends on it. Why? Because it does.